Where should you be applying with your UCAT score? Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. If you've recently sat the UCAT or you're about to, you're probably wondering, where should I be applying based on my score? Well, you are in the right place. I'm Dr. Sarah Nichols here with Medic Mind, and today we're going to be discussing how to choose the best medical schools to apply to based on your UCAT score. So here's what we're going to be covering in this video. First of all, we'll have a look at how to decide where to apply based on your UCAT score. Then we'll look at top universities for students with high, middle or low UCAT scores, both for undergraduate and graduate entry programs. And then we'll cover how to balance your application strategy to give yourself the best chance of success. We'll also look at some tips on applying to a range of universities with different entry requirements. But before we get started, if you're looking for more tailored support with your UCAT preparation or medical school applications, be sure to check out Medic Mind's UCAT courses for personalised guidance, and stay tuned to the end for an exclusive discount code. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this, and drop any questions or thoughts in the comment section below. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Let's dive in. So please do note that the cutoffs that we talk about during this video are approximations, and they do change year to year. So be sure to check out the official university websites for the most up-to-date information. That's always an important point whenever you're thinking about university applications. So section 1, top universities for high UCAT scores. First, let's talk about what it means to have a high UCAT score. If you're scoring over 2,300 in total based on your scores in the 3 cognitive subtests, you're in a very competitive position and you can aim for some of the most prestigious medical schools. Here are some of the top undergraduate universities that are known for being more UCAT focused and typically look for high scores. First of all, the University of Oxford, their undergraduate programme. Oxford University is one of the most competitive medical schools in the UK, and they place a significant weight on UCAT scores. If you score above 2,300, you'll be in a strong position, but you'll also need to meet their high academic standards and perform well in the interview. And here's a tip, Oxford also values academic excellence, so make sure your GCSEs and A-levels are equally strong. Next, the University of Cambridge, their undergraduate programme. Cambridge University is another highly competitive medical school, and while they don't use the UCAT as heavily in the selection process as Oxford University, it still plays an important role. If you're scoring above 2,200 overall with SJT band 1 or 2, you have a good chance of being invited to interview, especially if your academic performance is outstanding. It's worth mentioning that Cambridge uses the personal statement and interviews heavily in their selection, so make sure to showcase your passion for medicine and your intellectual curiosity. Next, let's look at Imperial College London, their undergraduate programme. Imperial is known for its rigorous entry requirements, and their UCAT cutoff tends to be high. If you're scoring over 2,100 with SJT band 1 or 2, you do have a competitive chance, but expect tough competition. Imperial also highly values mathematical and scientific reasoning and has a challenging interview process. The University College London UCL undergraduate programme. UCL is another top medical school that places a strong emphasis on UCAT scores. If you score above 2,100 with an SJT band of 1 or 2, you're likely to be in a good position for an interview. UCL looks for well-rounded applicants, so be sure to demonstrate your wider interests and experience outside of academics. For these top undergraduate universities, a strong UCAT score of around 2,200 and above, combined with solid academics such as A-levels and GCSEs, and relevant work experience gives you the best chance. Section 2. Top universities for middle UCAT scores. Now, if your score falls into the middle range, roughly 1,900 to 2,200, don't worry, you're still in a great position. Many excellent medical schools look for a combination of high academic standards and competitive UCAT scores, but they may be more flexible when it comes to the score itself. Here are some great undergraduate options for middle UCAT scores. The University of Manchester undergraduate programme. Manchester is a well-regarded medical school, and their UCAT cutoff is generally in the 2,000 to 2,200 range. So if your score falls here, you can still be very competitive. Admissions tutors also look for students who have scored a band 1 or 2 in the situational judgment test. It's worth noting that Manchester also values a well-rounded application, so be sure to highlight any volunteering or work experience that you've done outside of your academics. King's College London undergraduate programme. King's College has a UCAT threshold of around 2,100 to 2,200 for their medical programme. If you score in this range, you do have a competitive chance, but make sure your personal statement is outstanding. And they're also looking for an SJT band of 1 or 2. King's College focuses on a combination of academic excellence and practical experience, so make sure that your work experience is strong and relevant. University of Bristol undergraduate programme. Bristol's UCAT cutoff tends to be around 2,100, so if you're scoring in this range, it's worth applying to Bristol, but ensure that your personal statement stands out. And again, you need to be looking at scoring in a band 1 or 2 on the SJT. Bristol looks for applicants who have strong interpersonal skills, so highly relevant work experience or volunteering experience in healthcare is important here. The University of Leeds, their undergraduate programme. Leeds has an average UCAT score requirement of around 2,000 to 2,100 for their medical school. And while it's not as high as the top tier universities, it's still a competitive school to consider. Leeds places value on holistic admissions, so make sure to demonstrate your commitment to healthcare through experience and your personal statement. If you're scoring between 2,000 and 2,200, consider applying to universities like Manchester, King's College or Bristol, where your score will put you in a competitive position. But ensure you supplement your application with strong work experience and a solid personal statement. Now let's have a look at some top universities for lower UCAT scores. So if your UCAT score is below 1,900, there are still plenty of options for you. While your score may make it harder for you to apply to the most competitive medical schools successfully, there are many universities that use holistic or contextual admission criteria and will place more weight on the other aspects of your application. So here are some universities that are a bit more flexible with the UCAT scores. The University of Sunderland undergraduate programme. Sunderland has a lower UCAT cutoff compared to other schools, usually sitting around 1,600 to 1,700. They're more focused on applicants' dedication to healthcare and work experience, and they'll also look at an SGT band of around 2 to 3. If your UCAT score is lower, focus on your volunteering and personal statement to demonstrate your commitment to being a doctor and give you a chance of having a strong application. University of Plymouth undergraduate programme. Plymouth is another great option for students with lower UCAT scores, typically accepting applicants with scores in the range of 1,600 to 1,700. Plymouth values applicants who can demonstrate compassion and commitment to community, so make sure that your application reflects this through your volunteering, your work experience, and other activities outside of academia. The University of Chester undergraduate programme. Chester has a UCAT cutoff that's usually around 1,600 to 1,700, making it a good option if your score falls below the average for other universities. Emphasise your work experience and how you've contributed to your community or healthcare settings. The University of East Anglia UEA undergraduate programme. UEA also accepts students with lower UCAT scores, typically around 1,700. So if you're in this range, your application will be assessed more holistically, with a greater emphasis on your interviews and your work experience. UEA places a strong focus on personal reflection and your ability to articulate your motivations for studying medicine. So if your score is below 1,900, focus your applications on universities like Sunderland, Plymouth, Chester and UEA, where you may have more opportunities despite a lower UCAT score. And remember that a strong personal statement and relevant work experience can significantly boost your chances of having a successful application to medical school. Again, bear in mind that these scores are based on previous statistics and will vary year on year. Some universities will publish their UCAT cutoff scores and others will base it on the cohort applying that year. And this is another thing to bear in mind. If there's strong competition for places and higher UCAT scores, universities will raise their requirements based on the UCAT scores of all applications that year. So, to conclude, your UCAT score does play a crucial role in your medical school application, but it's not the only factor. If your score is high, you can apply to the most competitive universities. If your score is in the middle or lower range, there are still plenty of medical schools that will assess your application holistically, focusing on your experience, your passion, and your potential. The key is to research each university's specific entry requirements, understand their scoring criteria, and balance your application strategy accordingly. And do you remember the code that I mentioned at the start of the video? Well, here it is. You can use the code NEWTRIAL50 at checkout for 50% off one-to-one UCAT tutoring with MedicMind. We will match you up with your perfect tutor dependent on your requirements and tailor a revision plan to suit you. So why not boost your UCAT prep with MedicMind and increase your chances of scoring over 2,100? You can find the link in the description box below. If you found this video helpful, then click the like button, subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this, and leave a comment below with any questions or tips that you might have for selecting the right medical schools for your UCAT score. We look forward to hearing from you, and best of luck with your UCAT preparation. See you in the next video.